afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the ESR ACC GT Challenge. This is season 4. Well, I guess it might not be the afternoon for you, depending on where you are and how hard daylight savings times hit you. Today we find ourselves in South Africa at Kyalami International Circuit. I am Cole McCray. Today we're joined by a new co-commentator, Justin Swan. How's it going, Justin?
It's going great today. Glad to be here.
Yeah. Well, after Ayrton, our previous co-commentator, had some conflict issues, he decided it'd be better to have Justin here, and I like him better anyway, so it works out good. No,
Ooh.
I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. I like everyone equally. I have no favorites. Um, but yeah, we have a pretty good sized field today, and following along with 3D Speed coming after Sunday GT Challenge, we got Kyalami and 3D Speed next week too. So it'll be a Kyalami filled week, shall we say.
Yeah, and if anyone watching this wants to get in on that action, you can sign up at esr-race.org. You can find our Discord and more information.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll have more info about that at the end of the stream. But so this is actually kind of a new thing for the GT Challenge. We've tried to do streaming in the past, but it's kept exploding, and so barring an explosion, I think we're gonna be doing this from now on. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Yeah, hopefully
But
everything stays strong.
yeah, exactly. Anyhow, getting into our let's not do that view, just so we can get it a little more legible. Let's take a look at our timetables. We have Albert Arjona in the Porsche in first place, followed by Andy Burke, our current points leader, in second. Richard and/or Matt Higgs, one of those two, in
It's
third.
Matt.
With well, as the joke I make every time, Matt is Matt and Dad Matt are interchangeable. We got a newcomer, Brandon Baker from the Academy. If you were watching at Paul Ricard that we just did a stream on, he is a quite a fast driver allegedly, and it seems to be proving that right as someone goes off in the background there. We then have Ben Venuti in fourth. No, wait, fifth. My apologies. I can't read. John Archie in sixth, another newcomer from the Academy and our only NSX of the field. Followed by Zoltan Kalmandi, someone I haven't seen in a hot minute. Javier Eugeni or Xavier Eugeni, depending on who you are, in eighth. Rachel Guerin, looks like we had a little bit of switch up just now. Actually, did Archie take over from Baker? Oh, he did, I think. Ooh, it's scandalous. But yeah, so you'll be able to see this as updates. I'm actually just realizing that doing the quality reading while we got a minute and a half is not the best idea. So maybe we'll come back to that. But yeah, we got if we could just run over the standings currently real quick. We have currently, as I said before, Andy Burke in first place with 184 points. Albert Arjona second with 152. Mike Stobmiel, our who left the series a couple of races ago, is still hanging on to third, but that probably won't stick around for very much longer, as Gianluca De Luca is holding on by or is going to be passing him at a deficit of only 2 points right now. Matt Richard Higgs in fifth with 121. Javier Eugeni with 103. Jeff the Magic Man with 100, Javier Castaño with 97, Rachel Guerin, our Academy graduate, with 93, Carla Durazio with 92 in 10th, and past that it gets pretty tight. Shout out to Larry Foster with 69 points. Nice, the 15th place spot there. So yeah, we got a bunch of close racing coming up. Only 36 seconds left in qualifying. And the drivers having a little fun banter in the chat. We may have
We
an
managed to get Durazio.
Oh, good, excellent. So yeah, if we scroll down here, we can see. Ignore Justin Swan there. He's just doing that to mess with the standing order, as far as I can tell. No, I'm just kidding. He's got some insider knowledge.
Yeah, live reporting down.
In the field. Make sure to go back to the pits. So when you start, we've had problems with that in the past. I think it was season 2 that the director tool or the spectator tool wasn't working. So we caused a couple accidents. It was interesting, shall we say.
We'll be all right. We'll be all right. It'll be all right. Got my hands on the wheel in case something happens.
Good, good. Yeah, maybe we can have some real in-car commentary from Justin as he wheels around. Maybe.
Hey, maybe in the future we can get a live onboard lap where we do a breakdown of how the track goes, just like they do. You see, the Super V8s do that, right?
Yeah,
The
I mean it's a
driver
bit.
commentates the lap as he goes around at 200.
Yeah, I mean a lot. I think a lot of series do that, don't they? And I think it would be definitely interesting. It's been kind of on my wish list, low key for a while, but we just haven't had the coordination, shall we say, to make it happen to any effective degree. But if
Yeah.
we add some more stuff, I mean, definitely wanting to increase production value and stuff, so it might be happening. Woof! I just took a peek at the qualifying times. Andy Burke, 200ths behind Albert Nahona, and with that, our session is ended. So we will get a look at qualifying. If I didn't jump the gun last time, so as I said, Albert Nahona first, Andy Burke second. Richard Matt Higgs third, John Archie fourth, holding on from Brandon Baker, Marco Benvenuti in sixth, Zoltan Calmandi in seventh, Javier Eugeni eighth, Rachel Guerin, Javier Constantino Muniz, Jeff Hop in 12th, Chris Ramaker in 13th, David Nelson 14th. A little bit weaker of a qualifying than he's had in the past. He's been up there recently, but guess not a lucky day for him. John Barker and James Butler wanting to confuse me as always. Little background. I used to always mix up their first names, just because my brain is not working very well. And so yeah, that's our top 15 to 16 as we get ready for the start of this excellent race day. Looking at the weather forecast, looks like it's going to be sunny with a little maybe smidgen of clouds. Optimum track conditions. Little on the moderate temperature, 28 degrees centigrade. Celsius, depending on who you ask.
Yeah.
Well,
Um,
sorry.
some banter between the drivers.
I was just gonna note
Rachel
that.
Yeah, Rachel over here is making a joke about the fact that this track is not kind to front engine cars, which is very true. There's a lot of elevation changes where you need the front nose to pitch left and right and get the car pointed, and not having the weight of a motor over there really makes a difference. So that's why we see the Porsche traditionally do very well here, and the new Ferrari in particular is very on the nose. So
yeah,
should
we
be
were
an
having
interesting one.
we were having a little conversation um about the BMW just a few minutes ago that I think was kind of interesting because in spite of being a front engine car, you said it might be actually okay at this track. It might do well.
Yeah, so the BMW likes to stretch its legs, and so it's got the front stretch to really use that grunt and make up a bit of time. But it's also a platform that relies heavily on having a good aero seal, keeping the car as flat as possible and keeping that front splitter doing its job. And so this track has a few corners where the curbs will break that seal, but it typically does very well in tracks that are very high speed sweeper heavy. So tracks like Kyalami it can hang a little bit, and even believe it or not, Suzuka is one of its better tracks going up the S's. It's very odd.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it makes
So
sense. It does seem like, I mean, it's one of the older cars in this field for sure, and it's I mean, Mike Stobmill, he's used it to great effect, but I mean, he is an alien, so mad respect to the stuff, by the way. Like, he's too good for us. But we've also seen
a true
Eugenie.
pioneer VSR.
No kidding. And we've seen Eugenie use it to pretty good effect in most series. Much similarly, John Barker has used the NSX. He actually abandoned it for the first time this season. It's moving to the Porsche. And so, yeah, we've seen a pretty good variety in this series. I mean, Jeff has had some good run with Jaguar in the races past. So, interested to see how this works out.
Yeah, and just some quick drama to go over before the race starts here.
Oh,
I don't
hooray.
know if you've made mention of it yet, but our third place points driver, or soon to be third place points driver, as Stoffman has retired from the series, got to qualifying late. His flight came late. The car wouldn't start. Don't know what happened, but he is starting from the very rear of the field. He wasn't able to get a qualifying time in.
Oh, wow. That's That's kind of impressive. We'll have to see how that works out. Yeah, DeLuca there down there in 21st place.
Yeah.
We'll have to
So
see how he
this is going to
manages
be
that.
intense. If he wants to hold on to third, yeah, he's gonna be juking through the whole field.
Well, with it's something interesting with the academy. Oh yeah, by the way, we're doing a last sector-ish rolling start, so we're coming up to the line, and we're going. Green flags waving at Kyalami. Rachel Guerin battling Javier Muniz off the start, but it looks like Muniz wasn't able to hold it. Maybe he had a bad maneuver as Jeff and I believe that's Chris Ramaker, going around. A little bit of contact. Turn one is pretty clean though. Gotta say,
Yeah, we're going four wide, and they're holding it steady.
not at all displeased about that.
I think
So
these
look,
guys and girls learned their lesson early in the season that, heavy contact on one doesn't really do much for the rest of the race.
well, it's kind of interesting because we've seen in the past that the academy has actually had some
Oh
pretty.
no!
Oh no, what happened? What?
We've got a NSX, or not, I'm sorry, not NSX, a
McLaren.
McLaren off.
Oh no! Yeah, he spun. That had to
Baker
be
got loose
Baker.
going down the big right-hander, or left-hander, excuse me.
You might be ahead of us a little bit because that happened a little bit. You made note of that before I saw it, so interesting.
Oh,
Yeah, I was like, well,
sorry.
what? What happened? Garen
Oh
going side
no,
by
so
side
that's
with
like
Jeff.
third place.
Oh no. I mean, he's got everything to prove, but thankfully not much to lose right now. Being a newcomer, I mean, points are we're a decent chunk away into the series, so any points will be nice, but not absolutely crucial.
Can we get a camera on our leaders here? They're side by side into the kink.
Yeah, we can. Just one quick second. Oh yeah, look at Matt Higgs up into first. So great start from the Canadian. Ooh, as we see
Yeah.
Burke get a little bit screwy on the exit of the last turn there. We got the car spun around. That's the number 14 of Chris Ramaker. Oh no,
If I had to
lost.
guess, he had an unfortunate time over that curb there.
Yeah, that second to last curb is a brutal one to be sure. So as you said, the mid engine rear engine cars are doing pretty freaking well here.
Yeah, we're gonna
Javier
have to
Eugenia
see what
holding on.
happens.
Well, that's the name of the
Tire
game,
wear,
right?
everything is kind. Oops, sorry about that.
No, 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 no. Don't worry about it. So Arjona is hot on the tail of Higgs, hunting him down. Looks like we also got a battle emerging between Andy Burke, our current points leader, and John Archie, the rookie, with less than, well, barely more than 100th of a second between the two. I actually want to take a quick peek at that battle. Oh, just kidding.
Amazing start from DeLuca, by the way. He's all the way up to 12th. He's carved his way up 10 positions in one lap.
And that is something that kind of ends up happening when you're a good enough driver at the start of, and you start at the back of one of these kind of fields. I mean, as good as being track knowledgeable it can pay huge dividends to be able to just navigate a tough field like that. And DeLuca has shown his ability to, I believe he qualified poorly a couple of races ago as well, and had to do a similar thing.
Yeah.
He finds himself next to Carlo Durazio. Well, we don't have teammates, but they might as well be teammates in 13th.
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely some unofficial teams, definitely some drivers, some clicks, we'll call it. But this season's all about privateer. Go out and win your race.
So we see Andy Burke now behind Zoltan Kalmundi, just unable to escape Archie. I'm not sure. The NSX seems like it might be not a terrible fit, but it doesn't seem like it'd be the best fit for this track ever.
Well, traditionally the NSX is a very on-the-nose car, and so it really wants to point whichever direction you want to point it quickly. As long as you can kind of corral the rear end, it could do really well with the switchbacks here. So, and by the way, speaking of, look in his rearview mirror, the monster truck that is the M6.
The M6, yeah. We got a bunch of interesting cars in the top 10 here. Even Jeff in the ninth place there.
Yeah, just in the Jaguar.
So speaking of
So
Gianluca De Luca, oh, going off track a little bit as we come up into the hairpin. David Nelson just right behind this group, doing well for himself. But traditionally, I'm kind of surprised he hasn't qualified a little higher. He's generally been mid and high pack, shall we say?
yeah, I think going from the Aston, which is a front engine car, to the Ferrari has been a challenge for him.
I
Um,
would I would believe it.
so maybe his fit is the Aston. You know, sometimes you find a car you click with and you're kind of stuck with it. You know.
Yeah, I mean David Nelson has traditionally run the Ferrari in a lot of these series, but I mean he's made it work. Wait, I forget. In the 3D speed, does he run the Ferrari? I thought he did.
No, no,
Hmm.
that's my teammate. It's part of
Oh,
the
yeah, you're
academy
right.
team.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
So he's in the Aston there as well.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, you were making direct reference to that, and I just didn't catch it.
Yeah, yeah.
But
So
no, yeah, because he's been doing really well in 3D speed. What he qualified what fifth at Kyalami or not Kyalami Misano.
he finished fifth, I believe, as well. He managed to bring it home.
Very nice.
Um, yeah, he had some standout performances. In fact, he might be a bit of a rain racer because at Brands Hatch, he qualified, I think, third or second.
Wow. Let's see.
So
Peek
we've got
back
some
really
good.
quickly.
Sure.
Go ahead.
I was saying we've got some really good standout academy drivers that have made their way up into the main series. Looking at it right now, we've got Nelson, Foster. Um, Once upon a time, Josiah Jerome was also in the academy. Rachel is a
McCray. Yep.
graduate. So we've just got a ton of drivers in here that they put the extra seat time in, and it's paying off big time. So
Oh
all it
yeah.
takes is seat time.
Just running laps can pay huge dividends, especially in these really tightly packed races. Um, we're actually not seeing that many incidents happening right now. I'm kind of disappointed. I wanted to,
What?
man, my lust for destruction is not being fulfilled. Oh well.
I love a good race. We've only had a couple off tracks, and everyone's keeping it nice and clean. This is
Yeah, this is
wonderful.
probably one of the cleanest races. I mean, I have my rig on the side, just looking at the track map for different flags and stuff, and I've seen maybe two, and they're mostly just like benign spins. Looks like Muniz is getting a good run on Jeff. Can he get the cut back on turn one? Doesn't look like it. Uh, oh wow, a hard dive.
Whoa!
Ooh, with a hit. Ooh, that was a bold dive. Looks like none of them are that worse for wear, but ooh, that was not. We should say not that kosher. Maybe we might get a little replay of that.
Yeah, and if
Yeah.
you look carefully, you can see during this replay, the problem is that Jaguar cannot hold that type of pace through that sweeper because it's an
Yeah.
uphill sweeper, and that Porsche just wants to go right there. If it
Yeah.
wasn't going to be there, it was going to be the next section. I knew there was some trouble brewing when you have these different cars, right next to each other.
Yeah. You can see it right there. The Jag just couldn't, or it over rotated, and he couldn't hold the inside line. I call that a racing incident.
Yeah, yeah, it's a tough one. It's gonna happen when you have cars that are from different eras on the track. Really, this Jaguar is almost 10 years old.
Yeah. It looks like Muniz might have overcooked his tires a little bit with that accident. Looks like Durazio is just gonna sneak on by. Looks like he's already passed. What's happened? What am I looking at here? Huh.
Yeah, both DeLuca and Durazio have passed Xavier here.
Yeah. Okay.
While he was getting up to
Well, it
speed, they
was
carried
yeah.
momentum and just went right by him.
Classic case. This game, not sure whether or not it's realistic. Probably is, but this game punishes you if you spin and either overcook your tires or get them a little bit dirty. That could be a good couple of laps before, or at least a good couple of corners before you get that iron back out.
Yeah, yeah. The trouble is you don't want a flat spot because that's the kiss of death.
Oh
It
yeah,
takes a long time for those to wear back out, and then graining is more of a slow leak that all of a sudden you find yourself feeling like your tires are gone, but they've got a ton of tread left. They're just grained up. So
yeah.
Hopefully no flat spots. He looked like he kept it rolling mostly. Just a sketchy moment.
James Butler, John Barker, and David Nelson. James, even in the Academy race this morning, he just could not escape controversy. He was involved in a ton of really interesting racing, but some pretty sketchy situations. Doesn't look like anyone has any damage, but he just can't escape those tight battles, I guess. Probably enjoys it. But David Nelson, of note, appears to have fallen from 14th to 17th. Unfortunately, didn't get a look at that when it happened, but that will be the case sometimes.
Yeah, it's a shame. You know, he's the only Mercedes in the field right now, and he's got the brightest paint job as well. And it still doesn't seem to caution people. I think it sucks them in. Their eye is drawn to it.
Yeah, they're rubbernecking. They want to see it. Like, whoa, that's a cool livery.
Yeah, did that thing, is that corrupted? What's going on there?
Yeah, exactly.
So we might have to let him drive a school bus colored paint. See if that keeps him safe.
That would be fun. We might have to start a petition for that. I think. Of no Douglas DeGroat and our only Nissan today, driving the number 23 Gran Turismo car. Man, it's been a long time since I've seen that livery.
I love it. Oh
Whoa! And
no!
just as it happens,
Caster's cursed.
Oh, no kidding. Overcooks it on the exit, and we hop immediately back on with David Nelson. That accident with DeGroat allows Butler to get alongside Barker.
Unfortunate. What a Caster's curse you are, huh?
No kidding.
I was just about to congratulate him for bringing that thing to 15th place.
He's
It's
just
just such a
hamming it
wonderful
up.
car, but it gets forgotten.
Maybe he just knew that we were watching him. He's like, I gotta show off here, and overcooked it a little
Yeah,
bit.
a little Tokyo Drift. So,
Oh, unfortunate. It allows David Nelson to pick up the one spot. Meanwhile, I take a peek and see that Baker is still clawed his way up to 15th. So that's going at least not terribly poorly for him. We're gonna get to see
uh,
how he qualifies against these other veterans of the series, Benvenuti, Foster, Munoz, the like.
I think they're tough to get by. One thing they've learned is how to get their elbows out, so it probably won't be for free.
Oh, I'd be surprised if it was for free. No one gets a free lunch, but it will be interesting to see exactly what kind of moves they make. Durazio makes a nice pass. I believe that's Paul Hop, who just got by
Yeah,
there. That was very clean.
Hoppa.
Hoppa.
I actually had a discussion with him. It's Hoppa.
Oh, really? Oh, no. You mean
Yeah,
I
it's a German
mispronounced
name.
something? Well,
But
good.
I can't believe the storyline that we have today of the two Italian drivers just charging through this field already into the top 10, and we're not even 20 minutes into this race. The pit window hasn't even opened yet.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, DeLuca, was it DeLuca or Durazio? One of them was qualified at the back of the field because they got in at the last second and just demolishing everyone in their path. So, oh,
Oh
just as we say
no!
that, no, DeLuca. I'm sorry.
Not the commentator curse again! Quick, look away! Look
I'm just,
away!
I'm just gonna leave. I'm out. Apparently,
Oh
I'm dooming people
no!
to horrible fates. Oh man, I feel bad.
That was really unfortunate.
Man, within
Luckily, he gathered it
milliseconds.
up,
Yeah. Well,
but
I mean, no matter where he ends up, he's gonna be better than where he started. So I guess there's that.
yeah, that is one way to look at it. But what?
No kidding.
Quick, look at the sky.
Yeah, right. So hopping on back up with Matt Higgs, our current leader. Why does it say his name is Matt Higgs, but the leaderboard says R Higgs? Okay, you know what? I give
I
up.
couldn't tell you.
Zoltan Kalmundi in the third place, getting tracked down by our points leader Andy Burke. But it's been this way for the entire race so far, so it looks like there's no rest for the wicked.
No, those guys have been nose to tail fighting for third place this whole race.
Looks like they've been pretty clean.
Oh no!
Oh
Right move to the inside!
no!
Not again!
Oh
Oh
my god!
my god! The caster's
It's
curse.
it's a bloodbath.
It is
It's
too real.
I
And Archie just wiggles his way through, along with the school bus that is the M6. I
Oh
can't believe
no.
it. That's 3 for 3 right now.
Wait, man, my
We'll
if
send you a box of chocolates. We're
no
very
kidding.
sorry.
Man, I'm gonna run up the ESR's chocolate budget pretty hard today. Wow.
Yeah,
I
don't let Martin see those expenses.
if only my KD could be so good in Battlefield or Call of Duty is all I gotta say.
Oh my goodness, you're
We need
out
we
here
need
just
we need to get a no scope montage going. If only.
Oh
Jeez.
my
Oh
goodness,
man, I
the
feel
headshot
bad.
mark or the
Yeah,
little
yeah.
hit marker, the
Yeah, the hit marker.
every time.
Yikes. Oh
Oh
man. Well,
man.
I mean, hey, I guess I'm making it interesting.
Yeah.
Oh. So now,
Um
yeah, so the twin interesting cars of John Archie and Javier Eugeni up to third and fourth. Well, okay, so I need to say something. Since you appear to have more boots on the ground as far as pronunciation, is it Javier or Xavier? I suppose I could ask him. Go ahead.
I've only you know what? Everyone calls that knows him calls him Chavi. So just to
Chavi.
throw another wrench in there for you, yeah, Chavi.
Sure, why the
So
frig not? I haven't had enough coffee this morning.
so it's like a CH sound when they're talking to him with his nickname.
Okay, noted. I
Or
will.
well, excuse me, no, you I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about Castaño Muñoz. That's
Well,
Chavi.
I mean,
And
I've
then
called them the same thing, so might as
yeah.
well.
Not every day you get two Xaviers in the series. Fun fact, I'm sure you remembered this on the broadcast earlier for the Academy. We have 6 Daves
We do.
in a field of 15.
Oh, we do.
So,
Nelson Jones, and frick. Oh no! Paul Hoppa getting hit by Muniz specifically that one. Oh no, that was
again,
not
that corner
fantastic.
strikes.
Let's we might have to have a peek on the
We can
replay of
get a
that as
replay on that
well. Yeah,
maybe?
let's do that. So as we go in here, let's pop back to Javier and get a onboard, shall we?
Yeah,
Oh
this looks
god.
good.
There we go.
That's good.
So it looks like he broke and just cut across a little bit. I don't know whose fault that was. It looks like it might have been the Ferrari,
Looks like a
but I
little chop job, maybe 2
maybe
intersecting points.
it looked like he just cut maybe a little extra hard, but I can't say for certain. So that's unfortunate. We're just gonna look at some fences. But I mean, at least I didn't call that one. I don't have to
Nearly.
apologize to anyone again. I was thinking about it.
So it looks like Jeff is struggling here. I'm looking at the time board here, and he is absolutely struggling to get this car down to a low 44. And I think that's why we see him sinking like a stone.
Oh, you
Good
think
race
so?
pace here will be closer to the 43s. Yeah.
It makes sense. Meanwhile, we see Baker in betwixt Barker and Muniz. Oh no! What the heck was that? What happened there? Hold on, I gotta see a replay of that. What the heck? He just
Did you
came
commentator
around.
curse him again?
He just hit the curb. He just got
Yeah,
curbed.
that curb is nasty.
I I mean
Oh
maybe it was
man,
a
that's a lot of
commentator's
damage
curse.
too.
That does not
Good news is
that's not a happy McLaren.
no, it's not. But the only good news though is the pit window opens in 1 lap. And so if he can limp this thing around until the 40-minute mark, he will not have to pit twice. But it is going to be some doing
It,
to get
it
that thing across the line.
it's gonna be a painful lap, I'll say that.
Oh yeah. His bumper's dragging. I'm sure he's got suspension damage. It's going to be a doozy of a pit stop.
He's got no arrow. I mean, ugh, yeah, Doug DeGroat is just leaving him in the dust.
Yeah, and that McLaren is other than possibly the BMW's floor pan, just an overall design of a car. That 720 is the most aero dependent car in the field, bar none. It needs the
Yikes.
most downforce from its body panels. So damage on that car is,
Devastating.
start ringing the death bell.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and especially because this track is very. Oh, James Butler getting a little bit squirrely on corner exit there, having to fend off Chris Ramaker. But as I was saying, this track is very. There's some very, what we shall we say, sweeping corners that would benefit most from a good aero package, and so
Oh
having
yeah.
that disadvantage with Baker again still. Whoa, as you see Butler going over a curb, I think that was the same one actually.
You got to be careful. That curb is a no-go zone. You'll break suspension going over there. Just
Oh,
one wrong
I've
hit, it's gone.
in practicing for the 3D Speed Series this last week, or so I've been practicing this last week for the 3D Speed Series next week at Kyalami. I've never driven the track before, and the number of times I've like shouted in disgust at that one curb, it's it's unreal. It's pretty brutal. Some of them are forgiving, but that one will just eat you alive. So here
Yeah,
we're
and
looking at.
unfortunately, Baker crosses the pit window, the pit box, the pit lane opening, excuse me, the committal line. He crosses just after or just before the window opened.
Oh
So he has to
no.
go around an entire lap more.
Oh yeah, that's tragic. And I almost wonder if you'd better just stop at the the pit opening or just like delay super hard, but you know,
Possibly, it depends.
he
It
could have just
depends.
been not
It looks
aware.
pretty bad.
He's got his four ways on. That car is not having a great day.
No, but you know who is having a great day? Eugenie. He is killing
Yeah.
it right now. The most underdog story of this track, the BMW, the only front engine car that qualified in the top 10, and he is banging it out right now in fourth place. He's ducking, dipping, dodging, ducking, and dodging
And
all the way
dodging.
through this field.
If you can dodge a BMW, you can dodge a ball. That's all I gotta say.
Absolutely. If you could dodge a BMW, you might be able to dodge a Boeing 747.
Yeah, I mean, thankfully it's not an M8, so it's not quite reaching battleship class. But ooh, Paul Hoppa getting a little racy with Larry Foster as they pass the start finish line. But yeah, Javier Eugeni doing a fantastic job. He's kind of been, I wouldn't say underdog. Ooh, wow, that's kind of a interesting scenario that Hoppa has found himself in. So having a
Double
double
over under.
cutback, that was kind of, hey, I mean, it worked for him. Actually, put Larry Foster in his place. Ben Venuti might actually get a chance to have a pass attempt. But anyway, as I was saying, Javier Eugeni, wouldn't say he's been the underdog, but with the BMW, and then he's kind of been an average contender, but he's pulling at all the stops in this one.
Yeah, that car makes anybody behind the wheel a dark horse. I would say the only car worse than that to make you a dark horse would be either the Jaguar of Jeff or the Nissan of DeGroot, excuse me.
Yeah,
Those cars are just not very kind in the BOP of Kunos.
no kidding.
All right,
I
so looks
guess.
like Xavier was the first to pit and
Mhm.
complete his mandatory stop.
Yeah, so pit window opened 2.5 minutes ago, but people seem to be less than it. Matt Higgs dives, and so does Baker, which is very smart. Yeah, the less laps you can do out with that damage, the better.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
also of note, Rachel Guerin, our academy graduate, has made her way up to sixth. Now that is probably seventh, more like because Matt Higgs is in the pits, but doing very well. Another academy. Speaking of which, another academy graduate, David Nelson, still battling with Chris Ramaker. As you see James Butler going into the pits. So this is where it gets complicated and no one can follow anything. But so this now we're starting to see cars pitting. As always, we have a 20-minute pit window centered around the 30-minute. So we're going to be halfway at the halfway point as Ramaker makes a beautiful dive into turn one. Nelson does well to keep off the outside. Could maybe been a little more aggressive, but wow, Chris goes over the curb and it sends that Lexus sky high. Thankfully, you can control it.
Very
Um,
lucky. Not a nice curb.
yeah, no kidding. But and so if drivers are required to take tires and fuel, so a nice chunky pit stop. And then after, you can see on the left all the numbers. The orange lines next to their names is how many pits, if or whether or not they have pit yet, and the green line means they have. So the green cars should generally be weighted as higher than they really are. So you can
Yeah,
see
and
again,
I'm
Butler.
able to look here and get confirmation. It looks like Baker had about 40 to 40 repairs on top of the 30-second pit stop
You said
mandatory
four.
time.
You said 40 seconds of repairs. So you cut out for a second.
40 to 45 seconds on top of yeah, I'm sorry, 40 to 45 seconds on top of the 30-second mandatory tire change.
Yikes. Well,
So that was quite a long pit stop.
honestly, it doesn't seem that bad considering how much they probably had to fix, but it can't have felt good.
No, they got a lot of quick swap parts now. You ever see them do a brake change in under 2 minutes? Whew.
Oh yeah, I remember
I wish
watching a
I could do
video
that at
of.
my house.
I'll be lucky if it's a 2-hour thing.
Yeah.
But I remember seeing a video of someone. It was a YouTuber playing F1 20. It was an older one. It was like 2018 or something. And he was like, this is kind of a general YouTuber, but he was playing F1 and he had some damage and they repaired it. And F1 crews are just insane with all the people and stuff. They can change out noses in less than 6 seconds. And he was surprised. He's like, "What? I can't even get a Subway sandwich made for me in less than 6 seconds." And yeah, it's kind of amazing how they're able to do some of that stuff with such speed. These are kind of longer pit stops as far as motorsports go. NASCAR, under 50 seconds. Oh no, Larry Foster getting really squirrely, and the cutaway just as it becomes the most interesting. Looks like he's able to keep it off the wall.
He
I think.
rejoins the track safely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like he kept it off the wall. To
But
go
yeah.
back to your pit stop story, I've got one. Being a huge motorsports fan, back in this had to be 2006, 2004. There,
Okay.
Audi had decided that it would be faster for Le Mans to do an
Oh
entire drivetrain change
yeah,
than
I've
it
seen
would
that.
be to build a part that lasted. So they would go into the pits and swap out the entire rear end of the car, transmission and all, in
Mhm.
under like 2 minutes and 10 seconds.
Yeah, this is the famous Audi R8s. Um,
Yep.
and there's awesome videos on YouTube of them doing this, and it's like the precision and speed is kind of insane. And
It's
hey,
fascinating.
it's so interesting in racing how they make design decisions based off of how much time they can save. It's like, well, yeah, I'll be obviously be quicker to take apart the whole back of the goddamn car. Like what? All right.
Interestingly, I think that might have been the last time that Panos competed in the P1 class. They were the only front engine P1 car that year. That's the year they ran the red car with Andretti behind the wheel.
Oh yeah. God, I love the Panos LMP ones.
So
It's
little
basically an
little extra
Esperante.
tidbits.
Hey, we appreciate it.
Oh, it's
Tidbits are fun.
fantastic.
Man, one thing I assume you played Automobilista too, right?
It's one of the ones I don't have, believe it or
Oh,
not.
that's right. I forgot about that.
Shoestring budget.
That's fair. It is, it's a less common one. But they a while ago they added a GT one, like a 90s GT one class. But they are missing a couple of cars, namely the Panos Esperante. And they're all fun, but I every so often have to go back into Project Cars 2, which is one of the few quote sim unquotes that has the Panos, and I got to drive it. And oh man, I swear the hairs on my arms stand up when I drive that thing. It sounds so good.
Oh, it's fantastic.
So it looks like
Yeah,
David
it's
Nelson has
unfortunate.
found himself with Brandon Baker. Of course, Brandon is a not competing for position. He's a back marker at this point. So you're going to say I interrupted you a little bit.
I was say it's unfortunate that there's so many good cars and only so many sims that can get the licensing at once for them. You know,
Right.
some GT cars in this game are old and quite nice as Baker gets really underneath Nelson there. Um, Certain cars just got missed entirely, like the Viper. I think that's
Yeah.
only in Project Cars 2, but
Uh.
I loved that car. That thing was just so fierce. It was huge in the front, looked like a big tongue.
Yeah. Right. Biggest engine in a GT car by a huge margin.
Oh yeah, it's like
I
seven
always
point something liter.
8.4.
Oh my
So
god.
they had. I want to know how many strings they had to pull to get that thing approved. Because I think that at the time the restriction was 5 point something liters.
Wow.
So they had
I
to
don't
pull
know.
quite some strings for that.
I was lucky
Even
enough to
Corvette
see
was
one
struggling.
race.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, you were talking about that the other day.
Yeah, I was lucky enough. I got to see the one that was run by Gas Monkey Garage at Lime
Oh,
Rock in 2016. So it had the nasty green paint job on it, and you know me,
yeah,
that's my favorite color.
I love it.
So
Okay, now let's not watch this anymore. Uh, well, we're kind of at the point where everyone's kind of spread out. Let's change the leaderboard to show relative timings.
just
So,
a small note while you're fiddling with the cameras, as pits are starting to cycle, Xavier Eugeni's about to lead a lap. While it is pit stop cycling, that's still, he's still in it for a shout with that BMW.
no kidding. He seems to have lost his tail with Archie in the NSX, but Archie's in the pits, I believe. And so yeah, Rachel Guerin second, Javier Jenny first, and the EOS cars, Durazio and DeLuca, are in third and fourth, making their way up from the back to the front. Astonishing work from
Short
those
work of
lads.
it. Absolutely. Driving really hard today.
So with this last couple of rounds of the track before our pit window closes, everything should kind of iron itself out. Funny anecdote. I remember back when I started commentating the series in end of season one and beginning of season two. Uh, People were having really bad troubles figuring out how to get that mandatory pit stop done, and it would not be uncommon to have 3 or 4 cars get gigantic, like 150-second penalties for not completing the mandatory pit stop. It caused some really interesting scoring foibles, shall we
Yeah,
say?
you gotta get that new rubber on there. Gotta get the new rubber on there.
No kidding. I remember Mike Magus had to make a couple of videos actually, just like really, really breaking it down for people because I mean, it is, not the most intuitive thing ever. It's not terrible, but
I think for new drivers, it's just another daunting thing to make sure you have right. You gotta have your Santa's checklist ready before you go racing.
no kidding.
All right, and we've got Barker and Ramaker going into the pits now. They're one of the few that haven't pit yet.
So interestingly, a lot of the Eugeni, Garin, Durazio, DeLuca, Benvenuti, those top leaders that well, they're currently top, have it seems like they would want to. Oh, actually, no. There's some pretty big gaps there. I was gonna say they'd want to go in, but normally it's a common strategy to go into the pits if you're battling someone to try and get some clean air. But if it's working for you, hey, no, not a huge reason to go immediately. But with
Yeah,
John Archie,
and Higgs has just been opening up a gap right now. He's been running 42 since he's left his pit stall, and yeah, he's just been killing it. So
I am kind of curious because he seems he's fallen a little bit. Our top driver right now with the pit stop accounted for is Arjona, and that's not unexpected. But we do have Archie and Burke between him and Higgs. I thought Higgs was up into third at one point.
actually, Higgs was first on the pit cycle. He must have had trouble in his pit stall.
That's what I'm thinking.
Higgs was top dog, and now with
Yeah,
the way this is cycling, he came out behind Arjona, Archie, and Burke.
yeah. I mean,
Um,
I wasn't exactly sure
yeah,
if it had something to do with because I remember he was first, but I was wondering if he was the first one to go on the pit cycle, and he was. So yeah, something must have gone wrong. He struggled with pitting in the past. Anyone who's seen the IGT series we did in between season three or between season 2 and 3 will know that there's a fair number of penalties going Mr. Higgs's way for pit related infractions. So it could be possible that he's just kind of still trying to figure it out a little bit with this. We might want to get him
certainly
for an interview at
possible.
the end of this. Let's see. Okay, I'll make a note. But yeah, with that, we're coming down a little bit to the wire. Only a couple laps left. Garen Durazio, Ben Venuti, the last to pit, and that Justin Swan guy. What the heck? Get his act together. But
Actually, yeah, I'm looking at this right now. Higgs lost 24 seconds in the pits somehow.
wow, Yikes.
I'm doing the math here. Arjona had an in lap of a 234 flat and an out lap of a 149 and a half. Higgs, his in lap was a 258 and his out lap was a 249. So he's lost some
Yikes.
serious time.
I don't think he was damaged. It's certainly possible, but either that or maybe he struggled finding his pit box, or maybe someone was blocking out the pit. I don't know.
He is charging hard though because he wants to get a victory here. This he says repeatedly. He's told me that this is one of his best tracks, and he thinks that if there was a track he deserves a win on, it's probably going to be this one. But now he has. Wow, Eugenie came out of the pits ahead of him as well. He has a lot of ground to make up to have a chance here.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, Eugenie has slotted into. He kept his fourth place, but overtook Higgs. Um, Burke seems to have beat Eugenie through the pits as well, because Eugenie was actually fourth place going into the pit window, and now he's come out in effectively fourth, but
Oh
Matt
no,
Higgs
it'd
was
be,
ahead of him before, and now he's behind him.
yeah, I was gonna say, wouldn't that make Matt Higgs fifth? Because Arjona's our third. But
Yeah.
so
So after pit cycles, it's going to be Arjona, Archie, Burke, Eugenie,
I mean,
Higgs,
I'm look,
Calmandi, Orazio, and Jeff to round out our top 10.
I'm looking at the timing up front, and it's distinctly possible that Garen might come out in front of Higgs too.
You think so? It's definitely possible.
It's it's possible. It's not the likeliest thing I've ever seen, but I mean,
We're looking
here's
at
our
this
boy
pit
here,
here
Matt
is
Higgs.
probably close to 60 seconds.
Oh, it'll be pretty unlikely then.
If she nails her pit entry, then maybe less.
So just taking a peek, it looks like Paul Hop and Larry Foster are still being quite racy.
Yeah, if you want to go ahead and follow that, I'm just going to keep an eye on these last couple pits, and I'll let you know with any pit lane reporting if there's anything to take note of.
Sounds good. Ooh, looks like even John Barker might get in on the action. Larry Foster tries to have a look on the cutback. That's a dangerous corner to do that with, so he backs out a little bit. Probably a smart choice. But it looks like he's been able to get some good pace out of the corner exits. So, and with that, Garen and Benvenuti are our last two to pit.
And it looks like he's going to squeak out ahead of Garen. She's just about to leave her stall now.
Yep.
Any moment
Okay.
now.
So damage control is complete for Matt Higgs. But yeah, like you said, he's got some serious work to do.
Garen's just leaving the pit lane now. Looks like she is going to barely beat Jeff down to the wire here. So she gained a spot, I think. I think she jumped a place.
I think she did too. So it's all coming up roses for Rachel Garen here. Oh no! Paul Hoppa goes sliding around. I wasn't paying attention when that happened, unfortunately, but it looks like if I have to say, I'm gonna say that curb, that second to last curb, got another kill.
Hit him.
Yeah.
That thing's kill count is ridiculous.
But it has allowed, with the confusion, it has allowed John Barker to come up to Larry Foster and maybe have a chance.
I'm not sure how this all cycled out. It just sometimes the pit stops work for some cars, and sometimes people take a while to get up to speed. But Archie has managed to find himself in second place.
He's jumped a spot. Andy Burke was right in front of him before, and now it's all up to the newbie and the NSX.
Yeah, and Higgs was up there too, if you remember. So he
Oh
jumped 2
yeah.
spots, I believe.
So Eugenie has. Well, Eugenie has also jumped that spot then. Yeah, that's right. I forgot.
Yes.
Idiot.
Yeah. So it's gonna be tight though. It's gonna be tight. There's a chance that Eugenie holds off Higgs and maybe he lets Higgs go, and he hopes, because if I'm in this position, as I've been so many times before, always the bridesmaid, never the bride. Sometimes my best bet behind the wheel is to let the guy behind me go, rile him up a little bit first, let him go. When he catches the guy ahead of me, I hope that they fight so hard that I can pounce.
Yeah.
And you got to be the tiger, hiding the puma in the tree, just waiting. And sometimes you can play some psychological warfare on these guys and pit them against each other in ways they don't even realize.
Wow, I hope I never come up against you in battle. You're scary.
Oh yeah. Get out the war paint and everything. You don't even
no,
know.
no kidding, no kidding. Wow, I'm super susceptible to psychological warfare, so I guess I gotta. I'm letting you by whenever I face you.
But
um,
I think that's Eugenie's best bet here. I think the only way Eugenie gets the podium here is it barring a car making a mistake up front is
oh,
Matt Higgs helping him out.
well, and we can see Matt Higgs is putting down some tracks. Looks like Eugenie's getting held up by that. Looks like Baker in that McLaren. So he was letting the two by. Matt Higgs was flashing in the or
They
no
got by pretty
Javier.
smoothly.
Yeah, Eugenio was flashing the headlights. But you can see just the amount of pace difference. Higgs has gone down from 6/10 in the last lap to 3/10.
Yeah, I mean these guys they're not that far off from third and second. We're talking a 5-second gap from Archie to Higgs. So
So
I
what will
think with
be
that
interesting
kind of
is
gap, we're gonna see some things.
acutely interested in how Eugenie handles the situation because it's gonna be the difference between Matt Higgs maybe getting up or maybe Eugenie being able to apply pressure to Burke ahead. Because Eugenie's got some pace today as well, but maybe not as much as Higgs. I can't say for sure.
I can take a look for you right now.
Oh,
Well,
and
with
Gianluca De Luca with a drive-through penalty, presumably for cut track. I'm not entirely sure. And he's serving that immediately. I
Xavier
bet you.
Eugenie.
Sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, I since he's in the pits immediately, I assume that that was a last corner cut that the murder curb claimed another victim in a different form.
It definitely could have. What I was gonna say, I've got the numbers right here. With Higgs chasing Eugenie, he's all of a sudden dropped a full second off his lap time, and he's gone down to the 42s. He was
Wow.
cruising around doing 43.5, 43.4, 43.6, 43.7. He comes out of the pit lane. He's got a Higgs right behind him, and now he did a 42.7 flyer on his outlap coming from the
Wow.
pits. So he found some pep.
We can see Matt Higgs maybe made a little mistake. Let James Butler get this out of here. Let's see Higgs.
Well,
Running
I
on
can tell you
fourth.
right now, Higgs's last 2 laps have been on par with Eugenie's. He hasn't really been closing the gap. So
43
this is going to
flat.
be a good one down to the wire.
No kidding. Well, we do have almost 18 minutes left, so there's plenty of time for stuff to happen, for that commentator's curse to happen a couple of more times. But I think this is the battle we'll be watching now. I was actually having a peek at Jeff versus Garen, but it looks like Jeff might have made a mistake, and because they were close for a second, but they appear to have fizzled out a little bit.
Yeah, the only other battle that's extremely tight would probably be Archie and Burke. Burke is gaining on him. He really wants to climb another rung of the podium, and he's just under a second behind him, going down into the switchbacks in the back half of the course.
Yeah. Um. Let's see here.
I mean, either driver makes one mistake, and we're going to see Higgs and possibly the BMW together on the podium. So it's going to be a tight one down to the wire here with just over 16 and a half minutes to go.
One thing I do want to see is how have they? I know Javier or Eugenie has been a very consistent driver in spite of his BMW, which tip of the hat to sticking with it. But I don't know. I want to know what his best finish was in past races. Because he's been one of our quiet long timers. He's been around here since I want to say maybe even season 1, but I know at least season 2.
I know he's had several top tens. He may have squeaked into a fourth or fifth. I don't believe he's had a podium yet. I could be wrong. Could have been before my time.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. And the race app is wet in the bed, so maybe not. But I feel like this would definitely be his first top. Well, if he got the podium, it would be. I I think he's been in the top 5 before. I'm not 100% sure though.
What we gotta do is we
And
gotta get
Douglas
Martin to pay for a stats guy.
and Douglas DeGroat out of nowhere. Um, why isn't Mike supposed to be our stats guy? Come on.
Yeah, I think he's got enough on his plate these
Yeah,
days.
I know. Yeah, he's definitely keeping busy. So Paul Hoppa
So
versus
Eugeni's opened a little bit of a gap on Higgs, by the way. Just because I know we're watching this fierce battle back between Hoppa and DeLuca. I believe that's who they are. Yep, that's
yeah, it
Hoppa
was.
and DeLuca.
Mhm.
But yeah, Eugeni's opening a little bit of a gap. I think he's getting in Higgs's head here.
I think maybe stop it, auto director.
I I I think that Higgs is getting frustrated that the Lambo does not have the grunt to get down the straight, even in the draft. And so I
Yeah.
think what's happening here is this BMW is opening up like 2/10 down the straight that Higgs just literally cannot get back. And so by the time Higgs catches them, they're going into that sweeper with the curb, and you just can't do that. You can't go too wide there. You will crash. Um,
Yeah. Well, as you mentioned before, the BMW's interesting performance position is really frustrating to the Lamborghini, which is just kind of overall solid. Meanwhile, the BMW appears to be pretty peaky in the way it performs at this track, and so that could probably be very frustrating to someone trying to get past one of those.
Yeah, as we watch them go down the straight right now, you can see the BMW doesn't care that the Lambo's in its draft. He just pulls down the straightaway.
I was just gonna say that it's kind of scary. The pace of that thing down the front straight is awe-inspiring, we'll say.
Oh yeah, it's definitely just going for it.
So we've got three kind of battles, all within the top 6 right now. We've got Arjona versus Archie. We've got no, we got Arjona, sorry, Archie versus Burke, Eugenie versus Higgs, and in kind of going back, we got oh no, it looks like something happened with the battle between DeLuca and Hoppa.
Yeah, and
Let's
speaking of, DeLuca almost loses it over the curb. He gathers it up, chasing down Chris Ramaker, going down the front stretch.
where's my mouse? There we go.
Do we have a replay on that by any chance?
We
Or
could. I might have to, we'll have to see. You said it was DeLuca. So that's Ramaker. And we're coming up to the the curb of death. Oh no, he just lost it. Oh, well, not lost it so much, but did get a little squirrely.
yeah, so
This is
he's
DeLuca.
pushing as hard as he can.
Whoops.
If you want to take another peek back here, Burke and Archie are on top of each other now down the front stretch.
Heck yeah, let's mouse. There we go. And put it on this. No. There we go. Yeah, so Archie holding on to second place for dear life as our points leader Andrew Burke is coming with a vengeance, it seems.
And all the while, Albert Arjona tap dances his way away from the rest of the field. He has an enormous lead right now.
He's having a wonderful time, I assume, like as Tiny Tim would say, because he's gone. Yeah, gap is well, not enormous. Well, no, it's pretty big.
Yeah, I mean, the last time we raced here, he was my teammate, and me and him, we closed out the front row. We were
I
1-2.
remember that. I remember that. That was an
So
awesome race.
so I think he wants revenge for what happened to him last time where he got punted.
There was another. I think there was another driver there that had a terrible day. That back then it was.
Me?
No. Yeah, it could easily have been. No, I think actually that was Bathurst. Never mind. We had a driver that was like uniquely challenging stock meal that day, but he ended up having a couple of bad spins, and I don't remember who it
Was
was.
that Chris Johnston? Chris Johnston
No,
was up there in the front for Bathurst.
it could have been.
All
don't
right, we
think
might
so,
see
though.
something happen into this braking zone, by the way. Burke got a little bit
Yeah,
loose coming out of the last corner, but he is just that gap going in down the front straight is getting smaller and smaller. It's down to 2/10 as they cross the line now. Last lap it was at 4/10.
so you can
So
see him moving to the outside to try and plan his attack. He's just piling on the pressure, but he's doing so tactfully, trying to look for that opportunity that he knows is there. I mean, as you noticed, during the front
and
stretch, he just obliterated him. So,
Higgs is side by side with Eugenie right now through the entire first sequence, going into the downhill sweep where Eugenie's got the inside.
whoa,
Higgs is squeezing him down a bit. Yeah, that was a
covering
tight
the
one. He wasn't
outside.
left enough room for that BMW.
So Eugenie's been kind of an Iceman. We can get both battles in shot at once there. Um, he's not one to make irrational maneuvers, but he doesn't. He's not. Oh wow, yeah. Higgs is just not leaving him for dead, but he's putting it down some time.
Higgs is going to open up that gap, and with 10 minutes to go, he's got just enough time, possibly, to close the gap to Burke, assuming that Burke and Archie start fighting. So there's a chance here. There's still a chance for Eugenie to get on the podium, but he needs everything to go his way, and it's going to be a tough one. No mistakes for him.
Well, he's got near enough 5 seconds to go. So that, I mean, almost 2 seconds a lap. That, or no, sorry, half a second per lap. That'll be, I mean, it'll be doable. We'll have to see, like you said, if Burke and Archie can start throwing punches, then that'll slow him down. I don't think Burke was perhaps expecting Archie to be as formidable of an opponent as he was. Because, yeah, you see it even at the front stretch, every time he's about the same distance. Actually, maybe a little bit more. Because he's almost a
Well,
second
right
up.
now, I'm looking at the timing sheet here. Archie is running almost rock solid 43.0 each lap. Burke is running a bit of a more variance. Obviously, that happens when you're following someone. You close the gap, the gap expands and contracts a bit. And Higgs has been known to do low 42s late in the race here on low fuel. So there is
Mhm.
still a chance, but he needs to get that pedal down now.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a lot of random chance involved as well. Unfortunately, it seems like he's not getting that fighting that we were talking about that he not necessarily needs, but it would certainly help out because Archie is actually keeping some distance pretty well, which is not something I expected.
Yeah, Archie opened up a 6/10 gap in this last sector. I don't know where that came from, but he's just maybe a bobble from Burke.
And we're seeing, looking back at Eugenie a little bit, he's not letting Higgs have too much distance. A little bit for sure, but he's holding on. It'll be interesting to see if stroke when Higgs catches up to Burke and Archie, how much that, because two-way battles are a pain in the butt enough as they are, but when you get three people involved, man, and that can cause some huge slowdowns depending on how it works out. So it'll be interesting to see if Eugenie might even be able to make a little bit of a comeback as he comes to murder curb. Um, Although as I say that, of course, Eugenie gets 4/10 of a second put on him, so just never mind.
Yeah, I'm watching Higgs carefully. He picked up a second that lap. He closed it from almost a 5-second gap to just barely under a 4-second gap now. It's possible. It's also going to come down to if they get the bonus lap depending on when the leader crosses the line. So there's a lot of ifs here.
Yeah, oops, sorry, punched my mic. Although we are seeing that Burke is reeling in Archie pretty good this lap. Looks like Archie had a pretty rocky first sector. Now under, I would assume 3/10, under 3/10. Yeah, 2/10. So the pressure is going to be applied by Andrew Burke, and we'll have to see, is he gonna, that maybe looked like a dive, but that would have been really bold.
Yeah, I mean, Burke just put up his second best lap of the race with a mid 42 here, so he's really pushing. He's giving it everything he's got.
So while Burke doesn't have a ton to fear from Archie, he does have to worry about Higgs behind and also Arjona in front, because if I do remember correctly, there is they are battling for, if not points, at least for future points. Let's actually want to have a look see here. So yeah, they're, well, 30. Oops, they're within. Yeah, there's a pretty big gap, 32 points. But that's not to say that it couldn't, come to a head if enough of these little losses slash victories started piling up.
Yeah, and by the way, Higgs just chopped off a 1 1/4 second in one
Whoa!
lap. He went from 3.9 to 2.7. He is charging hard right now. So this is going to come down to the wire. It's all going to come down to if Arjona crosses the line in such a way that they get the bonus lap.
Well, let's see if we take a quick peek see at our just at where the lap sits right now. So Arjona is the number 12. You can see him kind of at the
Yes,
bottom of
sir.
the map there a little bit, next to the 23. The finish line is up in the top right, and if it's a 140 lap, ooh, it'll be close.
It's going to be close. We might be seeing if that extra lap is going to make or break it for Higgs. He gathers up another 1/4 second in the first sector of this lap as well. He is charging extremely hard. Yeah, that Lamborghini comes alive here when it gets down to about 25, 30 liters of fuel and below. It really comes alive.
Actually, one thing I'm kind of curious about, what if, can we see, oops, can we see the fuel? Oops.
Unfortunately, no. The gauges will always say 20 liters
Ah, bummer.
from a spectator perspective.
Oh well.
Higgs has taken off 5/10 in the second sector.
Yeah, I mean, we can see him in the same shot pretty clearly now, so there is, he's out for blood. Yeah, Eugeni's just been left in the dust. Looks like Gary
And I
actually
think
picked up
Eugeni's
another
fading a
spot
bit
somewhere.
too.
Well, he's not got a ton to lose
Durazio
here.
back into the top 10.
DeLuca has fallen, or well, he hasn't fallen, but he's maintained 14th, so not as good as he was at one point in 8th, but at least, you know, holding on, better than he started for sure. It looks like Baker has given up, maybe retired, holding on in the pits. It's a bummer. I mean, he got a
Yeah.
rough start, but you always want to see people having fun.
Unfortunate, but sometimes, the start of the race is like that. Sometimes you have a bad get and you just kind of got to hold on for dear life, and there'll be another race. Another one will come to you.
Oh, don't I know it? And it's kind of been the story. Where did we lose? We must have lost Josiah Jerome at one point. I could have sworn he was here.
We
Uh,
did lose Josiah Jerome. We're down 2 drivers, I believe. I think we peaked at 23 total cars, not well counting mine.
you're counting yours, yeah. So the what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, Douglas DeGroat and Josiah Jerome have both had um, well, DeGroat I suppose more than Jerome, but they both had a string of bad luck in recent memory. So they know what that's like, and it's a tip of the hat to them to stick around and continue fighting. Remember specifically at
Higgs picks up another half second. He's down to a 1.5 second gap going into the final sector.
so there's gonna be one more, 2 more laps. So
Could
this
be 2
one
more
and then the
laps.
next one. I think so. So
This is going to be close.
it's gonna cut, like you said, it's gonna come down to the bleeding wire. Burke is just not finding a way past Archie. He kept it within a half second these last few laps, but has not found the ability to get past. Looking at the leaderboard, there's no battles happening except for right here for the finish.
Do you think we
Arjona,
could get an onboard with Higgs?
we
Get
uh,
his
we per-
perspective?
we perhaps could. These onboard cameras suck, so we'll just watch this one.
Here's his dash cam. They've got lap traffic becoming a factor here.
That's Douglas DeGroat there, yeah. Looks like it didn't play too much into Burke's move, but looks like it might interfere with Higgs a little bit. Nope, just kidding.
Higgs is down. He's closed another 6/10 in the first sector alone. This is intense.
One thing I actually kind of want to do is look on board with Archie. Can we get a rear-facing view of that? Oh wow, the wings are right in the way.
That thing's quite on the on quite a pedestal, isn't it?
Yeah, no kidding. Actually, screw it. One thing I do want to try to do is just do the free cam.
There we go. That's a good one.
So so we got they we can, you can just see the gap to Burke from Higgs just dissolve as Burke. It could be a mixture of being stuck behind Archie, but also Higgs is, like you said, got some terrifying pace in this track. And if we pull up the track map and see where 12 is, 12 just past the finish line. He's on to turn 2. So this will be the last lap. I'm pretty confident in
Yeah,
it.
white flag is out. White flag is out.
So here we can see this is where the battle falls. Looks like Higgs outbroke himself a little bit into turn 1, but he's got the pace that I don't think he has to care too much. Let's go to the heli cam.
I think if Higgs is going to make his move, he's going to have to make it going out of the hairpin into the downhill section, bearing any mistakes from the drivers ahead of him. But I think that's the one place where he's going to be able to get alongside these guys and make a hard braking move into that right hander and try to complete the pass going into that dangerous curve. So
Absolutely.
it's all up to this.
Whoa, look at that distance he makes up under braking. That's awesome
He is pushing deeper and harder and faster
and stronger.
than anybody else. Yeah.
Oh man.
This is it. This
Whoa,
is the section I'm talking
it's
about
not
here.
David
Lap
Nelson.
traffic.
Wow. What a freaking kicker. Actually, let's have a look see at Nelson. Just watch this from a third person perspective. Cuz
We're going into the last two corners.
it's getting scary. It's getting very scary. So murder corner is passed. Matt Higgs gets a little unsteady. This is going to be it for the finish. Archie is able to hold off Burks. I don't think Matt Higgs is going to be able to get the
He
line.
doesn't have enough in the tank.
No, he doesn't. That's going to be it. Checker
Wow.
flag is
We'll have to
waving,
get
and
him in
that is.
here.
We do. Hold on, I'm gonna text him right away. That is, oops. That is
So
intense. We'll say
that is something. That was something. Charging back a
something indeed.
5-second gap with less than 10 minutes to go is no short order. Eugeni barely manages to hang on. He was hemorrhaging time to Kalamandi. He rounds out our top five. Rachel Guerin, whether or not it's her home track or not, we'll say it is. Manages to have her strongest finish of the season, pulling in seventh place. Jeff holds on for dear life in the Jaguar in eighth. Durazio and Benvenuti round out our top 10. Academy driver Academy veteran Larry Foster is 11th, followed by Barker, followed by Remaker, who had a good drive back from his early mistake, which set him to the last place. He gained back 10 more positions. We had DeLuca, who had a rough race, but he still finished ahead of where he started, which was last. He's in 14th now. Paul Hoppa and Dave Nelson to round out 16th. Butler Jones, and unfortunately, Baker has retired in 19th. So that rounds out our top 20.
Yeah, and good timing on that too, as people start leaving. um, but so it's kind of a story. I see a bunch of stories unfolding here. Oops, we get a little bit of look at the driver banter chat here. Um, as I was saying, we kind of have a few stories unfolding here. We have some rookies from the academy, having a good strong start in the GT challenge here. Archie, congrats on this second place, phenomenal drive. Um, oh, excuse me, Baker, that's a common scenario to play out. It's hard to make that work, and sometimes just get unlucky. I mean, enough of us. I mean, I won't claim to be a veteran in ACC, but enough of us racing people who've been around for a little while can say that it's easy to have a race like that. Um, Rachel Guerin, great job as always. We had some interesting activity from David Nelson, but it didn't unfortunately work out a bit like he had hoped. And just a ton of great racing, and now we see all the cars merged together as one, because that's how you get an 18 wheeler, right?
Yeah, if we get enough of them. Um, if anyone here watching the VOD or watching live is interested in getting active in ESR, we have an academy for new drivers. So if you're a brand new racer and you want to get your feet wet, maybe during the pandemic you decided, you know what, I'm going to take the plunge, but you don't know where to begin. Um, I, Justin, will be running that. I've been running it for a few seasons now, and I always love to have my door open for more drivers. If you're a veteran or intermediate driver, or maybe even just a journeyman, and you want to get out here and race with us, the season has open signups. We still have a few more uh, races to go this season. We race every other week, culminating with a finale at Spa. And you can go ahead and find us at esr-race.org. And using that, you'll be able to find a Discord link, get in and ask all the questions you need. We'll be happy to point you in the right direction and get you signed up.
Yeah, yeah, that's how dare you, Justin? That's my bit. No, I'm just kidding. You're good. But yeah, no, if you like what you see, I mean, I don't even know what Twitch uses, but like, comment, subscribe, all that kind of good stuff. We have races all the time.
Follow
Yeah, follow. That's it. Uh,
and make sure you hit
Boost
that
us, I
bell.
guess. You hit that bell. Yeah, don't forget it. Don't forget. And yeah, when the
Get those
ESR OnlyFans gets
notifications.
out. Wait a second. No, never mind. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah,
yeah.
yes. So yeah, even if you're not into racing, sim racing as much per se, but just want to talk, we're always open. We got academy stuff for people who want to just learn. We have every level of competition that you can imagine. So just give us a shout. ESR-race.org. Eat sleep race.
Absolutely. Well, I'm gonna let you go ahead and do the rest of your sign off here. I'm Justin Swan, and it was great to have me. So thank you. It was great to be here. Excuse me.
Yeah, no, I know. You don't have to worry. I will say it for you. It was great to have you. Yeah, I think you're gonna be a fantastic addition to this GT challenge if you choose to stick around. I hope you do. And it's been
I'd
great.
love
Well, we'll
to.
see if we can get an interview with Matt Higgs here. Within
I'll go
the
ahead and grab him right now.
okay, excellent. Hey, Matt, you've been kidnapped.
I joined.
How's it going, Mr. Higgs?
I hate it.
Hey, I think you did pretty well, if I don't say myself.
I blew away a win.
Oh, well, we were mentioning Justin and I that you had a great run and we were in first for a while. But what happened? Was it the pit strategy that got you, or did you get tied up with exits or something?
No, I crashed.
You crashed?
I crashed on the sausage turn.
Oh no, we've been calling it the murder curb, because
Yeah.
that's had quite a kill count today.
No, I didn't hit the curb. I ran wide.
You ran wide and just lost time, or did you get
No, I
penalty?
ran wide. I ran wide and I spun and hit
Oh,
the wall after the curb.
oh no. Well, you had a fantastic run, back up into fourth place where you ended up finishing. Man, Justin and I were on the edge of our seats watching that fight between you, Archie, and Burke evolve, because I mean, it was nothing short of amazing. You were able to put some fantastic time in between them, and once you got past you, Jenny, there was no holds barred.
I was
Um,
so glad I got past Eugenie when I did because I was stuck behind him the whole last stint last time we were here, and I could not get past him because the
yeah.
BMW is just so quick on the straights.
Oh yeah,
Like
yeah, we were noting that like it's a hard battle to fight between these two these two cars, and you did amazing to be able to make that work so well.
And then I kind of did a half dive into when I passed him, got him to make a mistake, and I got alongside him, and then I kind of forced it from there. And then the long right hander where you had to lift, I went around the outside there.
Yeah. Well, we were I was kind of predicting that he would try and cut back, but but he kind of played it cool and ended up working out. Man, it was coming down to the wire there. Uh, do you think you would have had him in the next lap, or the one after that if it had kept going for another lap?
Burke and Archie.
Yeah.
When they caught David Nelson, if they had just been like a tenth of a second behind, and because the normal line is a wide and a late apex there,
Yeah.
and I was hoping that Burke would have got caught behind uh Nelson there, so I would have been able to slip up the inside. But there was a gap, but I probably would have taken him out if I'd taken that gap.
Yeah. Well, it was a fantastic race. I mean, we were on the edge of our seats, like I said. Um, where will that put Mr. Higgs as far as points. I am curious. I'll flash that back up on screen.
This was my
So,
only chance for a win. God.
Well, while you get that information, I'm just gonna let you know. Also, Archie, if you're interested, you can pull him in here for his first ESR podium. If you want to give him a quick interview and ask him about his race.
sure, I'd love to. Excuse me.
So,
Uh,
congrats,
I,
Higgs. That was one hell of a drive.
I'm
um,
punching myself right now.
uh, I, I don't think I have permission to move people.
Oh,
Tell him to get down. Oh no, he doesn't have access to this channel, do we? Does he?
Yeah, I don't think so. Do you think you might be able to kidnap him, Justin?
I could. Could I give him the
I,
role?
I could ask him.
No, I can give him the role and then he can join himself.
Okay. Oh, okay. I was just gonna text him. Don't strangle yourself, Matt. It'll all be okay. You did really well. I mean,
I could have won. Ah.
And here we go. I believe that's Justin Swan and John Archie. Our one of the objects of the current race. I won't say controversy, but action at least.
Yeah,
How's it going, John?
No,
I'm doing pretty good, thanks.
Doing excellent. Hey, so what a fantastic race. You and Burke at the end, and then we're getting followed by Matt Higgs. Like, how was that for you? Was this race at the academy this morning? Was that your first ESR race ever?
No, I've done a couple so far, maybe like
Okay.
four of them.
Okay.
But yeah, I saw Burke hunting me down, and I knew he was a little bit faster, but I just had to keep to the markers and hold the inside and keep him behind me, and it worked out for like 30 minutes.
Yeah, you guys had fantastic pace, and we also have Matt Higgs in here who was apparently punching himself because he thought he could win. I don't know about it, but um,
I
yeah.
was
What?
winning when I crashed.
Yeah, I heard he met the sausage.
Well, from what I hear, it sounds like he almost met the sausage, but ended up spinning. Um,
Just so you know, when you run wide there, you can spin.
yeah, if you hit that curb wrong, you bottom out pretty bad. They'll send you.
No, I didn't hit the curb. I avoided the curb. I missed the apex slightly, and I ran wide, and I sort of got into the gravel, and it spun me to the inside.
Yeah,
so
well,
I mean, but John, so Archie was, or not Archie, you're Archie. But Burke was applying pretty good amounts of pressure. Do you think that at some point he might have had you if the race had gone on a couple more laps, maybe? Because he was going back and forth for quite a while, and Justin and I were pretty excited about it.
Yeah, it was getting close. I think I was a little bit quicker in like the first couple sectors, but he definitely closes the door like coming down the hill into the start finish line. So I just tried to focus on the exit, and I think I had a little bit faster exit speed than he did. So just try and hit the apex, power out, and yeah, keep him in the rearview mirror.
awesome.
We heard through your little interview survey that you're a big Honda guy, and it's good to see another. We haven't seen an NSX in this series since last season. I think John Barker drove one for the longest time, so we were happy to see the NSX make a comeback. I understand you're a big Honda guy.
Yeah, I own a couple Hondas myself, so thought I'd do some have some pride for the company and choose the NSX. It was kind of I've only raced with it the last like month or so. Before I was mainly in the Beamer.
Really?
Another OP car, I know.
Yeah, yeah, super OP.
I don't
Well,
know.
I mean,
I kind of like the underdog cars.
I mean,
There
it was
you
a
go.
I mean, except for this track, it was probably a trade up, I think. um, I mean, you could, depending on who you ask, that answer could change. Um, so you're in the academy and in the GT Challenge this series. Are you planning on getting into any other uh, series, or is this kind of your scope for now?
Yeah, it's kind of all I have time for right now. I'd probably like to do the Wednesday one, but unfortunately, the work schedule doesn't quite work out with when you guys are racing.
Yeah, that makes sense. And Well, and when it's a even though it's a labor of love, you got other labors to do too. So I totally understand.
They really don't want you showing up, Cole.
Wow.
It's okay if I showed up too much, that I might take too many victories. So got to give some other guys a
Shots
chance.
fired.
There you go. You heard it here first.
No, I
Matt just
suck.
doesn't want you beating up his dad.
Yeah.
Please do.
I mean, come to think of it, what did he place in the last race? Nah, I'm just kidding. But yeah, it's good to have you in ESR, and we love having you around, and
Do
might
we?
make this I mean, Matt might not love you too much, but you guys can duke it out later, I guess, if you really want to.
Well,
Maybe we
I'm
should start
hoping
it.
we'll see you guys continue for some time.
Hey, we have
How-
a we have a de-stressing round, or a de-stressing game every Friday with Wreckfest. I don't know if you've heard of it,
Oh yeah,
but
I've seen it. I don't own it myself, but
okay. Well, we might have to get you and Matt a copy, and then you guys can duke it out in the demolition derby.
there you go. I'll ride the lawnmower.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Nice.
There's a
Nice.
sofa too. We'll put Matt in the sofa.
Oh, there you go.
But but all right. So yeah, that's about all I got. If you guys have any other things you'd like to add, we'd like to keep it clean. No poop thrown, please. But
Yeah, no, it was a good race. Yeah, thanks for putting it on, and I guess we'll see you in the next one.
yeah,
Absolutely. Hope to keep seeing you.
yeah, we'd love to see you here. You've been great in the academy, great in this series. I hope to add you to a list of our regulars.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes, sir.
I need that top step though.
I mean, you're
He's
doing
going for
pretty
it.
good. What you're doing pretty good as is. So I think just keep on that track, and you could continue to make Matt Higgs angry every week.
I'd love
You
to
No.
can't
see
make
it.
me angry.
Yeah. Anything from you, Matt?
Ooh, not really. Just still bummed. And where are the next 2 rounds?
The next 2 rounds. That's a good point. If I was a good host and did my research, I would know that.
Well, we have the
Um,
leader of the series here, so
This is round 4.
we have a race to figure out who it is. Suzuka,
Yep.
and then Spa. So March 28th is at Suzuka, and April 11th is at Spa-Francorchamps.
Yes, and Spa will be 1.5 times distance and double points.
Yeah, oh yeah, I forgot about that part. Ooh, that'll be extra fun.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Interesting to see
hopefully
how
I'll be
stretch
things
out
able to
manage.
those
pull a win
legs.
out of.
What is that, Matt?
Hopefully I'll be able to pull a win at Suzuka, because we're racing in the next week, or next week, 2 weeks, and the Porsches are going to struggle.
Yeah. I mean, if I remember right, during the IGT series, you had like 18 or 19 penalties. So we'll have to see if that can work itself out. No, I'm just kidding.
No thanks. I don't want any more penalties. I'm good.
Alrighty.
Okay, we're gonna wrap it up here, ladies and gents. And like we said earlier, join esr-race.org if you feel so inclined. Please do it. We have a Discord, all that good stuff. We'll be here for the academy again, and then race in a couple of weeks. So join us there too. Until then, though, hope you guys have a good time, and peace out.